Well, welcome back, everyone, to the Reasons to Be Happy podcast. Today, we're going to chat about something we all have experienced, our growing dependence on smartphones and technology. Now, let's explore how the digital web has woven itself into our lives, and find some ways to reconnect with what truly matters. Well, I could tell you from my experience, I spend way too much time on my phone. I almost feel like I'm trapped, and I was inspired to make this episode because it's been a while. I kind of just forgot about the podcast because I don't know, life just moves fast, you know. It's been a whole year, if not longer than that. I feel I would have to go check and see where the last episode left off. But if you hear some noises in the background, it's my dogs. They could be a little noisy sometimes, so keep in mind, it's nothing weird going on. It's just dogs ruffling around. Nothing paranormal. Though that would be cool if I caught something paranormal. But if you've been around for a while, you know about all my fun little series I made back when I created this YouTube channel back in the day. My Unwelcome Visitor series I made. Good times. If you're there, it was kind of like a lost footage type series, but it was almost trying to give reality. But back to the main structure of this episode. I use my phone way too much, and I get distracted. So when I'm on my phone, I feel like it's almost kind of like a way to check and see what's happening, you know. And it's definitely unhealthy, and I try not to do it. And I just noticed within the past 3 years of my life, you know, how much time I spent on my phone. And I've been trying to take breaks from it and such, but it's just so hard because we're pretty much forced onto the whole system. It's like the whole smartphone effect, you know. Like, we're forced into having to use these things. You know, we're literally using these phones that are made by slavery overseas. You know, it's pretty messed up, but we're forced onto it because in the modern world, you need to have a smartphone. It's not a want anymore. You pretty much need it, especially for a lot of different things in order to use apps. Now, I guess you could get by and you could make all your accounts on it like a laptop or a computer. Yeah, sure, you could do that. But I mean, at this point, I feel like doing that isn't always an option because, I mean, I guess you could get Instagram on... I'm pretty sure you might be able to sign in Instagram from the computer now. It's not that very good. You know, it's not that very fast. And not that you need an Instagram in life, but if you're trying to make, let's say you're making a business and you want to market it, Instagram is definitely a good place for that. I think very much so if you're in the local area, Facebook's probably better, especially if you have a demographic that's older. But you still need a phone for these kind of things. It's not like something you can just get by completely. Though I'm sure there are people that have gone away with it. But from my generation, you know, we're born into that smartphone. Though I didn't get my first smartphone till I was probably I think I might have been 15 years old. I was using flip phones before that. And I was just fine, you know, and we got by. But we all got addicted to our phone later on. You know, I remember when Vine was blowing up. And that was right when everyone was kind of getting their first smartphone, of people of my age. Maybe some of the kids prior that had them longer. But you kind of just get lost in this whole doom scroll. I don't know if you guys ever heard that term. It's called the doom scroll. And when you're doom scrolling, you're looking through reels, you're looking through pretty much all the content that you see posted on Instagram, all the new stuff. You want to stay on top of it. You want to kind of follow it. It's kind of like you're trying to stay on top of the tea, you know, the drama that happens in school back in the day. If you were in high school, you know, it's like trying to stay on top of that and getting that constant information. There's a giant jet flying by. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably not. But anyways, no, you definitely hear that. That's really loud. Yeah. We live by some kind of military base. I'm not really too sure. But these jets are always flying by, and it gets a little annoying sometimes. Especially when you're just trying to focus in on something and then you completely kind of forget what the hell you're talking about. Kind of drives me bonkers. But anyways, and on top of that, like you're doom scrolling, it definitely affects my mental health, because I'm starting to see everyone else's life, and then I'm like, oh, why is my life not like that? And that's pretty obvious. Everyone knows that talking point. Like everyone knows, oh yeah, that's definitely a thing. Um, I shouldn't say everyone, but everyone that's been looking into this kind of thing, or knows or has gotten caught in the digital web, you kind of have that realization that doom scrolling is not good for you. That constant, you're basically getting like constant dopamine hits every time you watch a reel. That constant dopamine hit, and I'm not, maybe not constantly, but anything that's like let's say violent. Not that most violent things are allowed on social media anyways, but usually those are taken down, but not always. I don't know, man. I've been on Instagram. I've seen some crazy things, and then they're allowed, and then here I am posting a comment speaking truth, and it gets taken down. They don't want people speaking truth on there, unfortunately. But yeah, it's fine. That's just life, and you just got to move on. And that's another thing. I could go down that whole rabbit hole of why commenting is kind of a waste of time too on social media. Like okay, we want to express our opinions and everything, but like the whole bickering, like I don't know if you ever seen like bickers on social media when people go back and forth. And I'll be honest, it's happened to me before, and I don't feel good after, and I don't feel like I've taught the other person anything. I sometimes I feel like I insult the person, even though I'm not trying to insult. I'm just trying to prove my point, and then it ends up becoming personal. Of course, when I was younger, I did that. I don't really do that anymore, because I learned that that's just, first of all, it's a waste of time. Second of all, it's not going to change anyone's mind. It's just going to make someone even further deep into what they believe. And even more so for me, I'm trying to kind of like stay middle ground no matter what. In my life, because I feel like I'm happier when I'm in the middle. Though I mean, don't get me wrong, I have my opinions on certain things, which I don't like going political on here. But I'm very moderate when it comes to like most things. There's only a couple things that I could go on about, but I'm not going to. But anyways, going back to the focus of this whole episode. We could go into like the FOMO, fear of missing out. I would erase apps if I was using them too often. This was like within the last 3 years, I'd erase an app, and then somehow, months on the line, I'm like, oh shit, I have to actually go in there for some reason, so I re-download it, and then I'm back into it. It's really hard to get past that, because you just want to like turn off social media. But then after like a few weeks or so, you're just like, oh, well, I kind of want to check and see what's going on, Like you feel like you're missing out on something. Or you're just like, you kind of want to check out your social media. You want to say, oh, well, maybe someone hacked into my account. And I need to go make sure that hasn't happened. You kind of make up any kind of reason in your mind to go check and see if everything's all good. That's like the addiction. And I feel like that's like another thing is like, the smartphone effect it has caused us to be addicted to the web, to the internet. But I feel like prior to phones, I wasn't really addicted to my computer as much. Though I like going on my computer. I feel like once phones came out, that's when like I wanted to be on my computer a lot more. But that's just my experience. Hey, Goosey boy, how you doing? But that's just my experience. I kind of like came to the conclusion like this whole thing is kind of like the plastic realization, and the reason why I came up with that is because like the plastic realization is once you realize that all the stuff you see on the internet and all the stuff you see on social media, maybe not all of it, but a lot of it, that fakeness, how everything's so perfect and pure, it's like. It's like rainbows and unicorns, everything's perfect. It's not always perfect like that, Life is not perfect like that. So, The plastic realization. Once you realize that everyone's just putting up a face on social media, everyone's at fault for this. Everyone has done this, where you put up only just photos of times when you're at your best. It's just kind of a normal thing because that's what everyone freaking does, and then they follow each other like, kind of like, let's say, like sheep. That's a good way to put it. Kind of like a psychological thing. Though I don't think this affects everyone. I think to generalize and say that this affects everyone is kind of silly. But I definitely do think that the plastic realizations are a real thing, and how you realize that, people are definitely not real on here. And you don't see that side of people in which people might be imperfect, and imperfection is beautiful in its own way. So it's kind of unfortunate that we have that, because sometimes I kind of just want to see that real side of someone. But then again, we also have the other thing when some people are just sharing way too much of their lives, and they're way too comfortable on social media. Like the plastic realization, it's when you realize that the internet is very plastic. And when I mean plastic, it's not real. It's been formulated by algorithms, and basically over time, YouTube has become a whole different platform than it used to be. All the social media has changed as it goes on, as does civilization, as does everything else, like the movie industry and everything. It's a normal process that happens, but I feel like ever since lately, within the last maybe 10 years, it's just been rapid, especially with the implementation of AI. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It could be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. It's hard for me to know. I'm only human, and I don't know what the future is going to look like. But I do know that people are definitely becoming more and more accustomed to using AI, and they trust it more than they used to. Humans are imperfect, and imperfection is beauty. In my eyes, imperfection is what makes a song good. It's what makes art good. It's what makes any kind of writing piece good. If it's not perfect, then it's kind of beautiful in its own way. And once things start getting perfect, more perfect, then as a human, you kind of realize, oh, like a computer definitely put that together. Like you just don't get that same feeling, But yeah, the smartphone effect. I spend way too much time on my phone. I mean, like being on social media or being on online for too long, you start to notice it affecting your everyday activities. You lose focus of your main goals. You lose focus of who you are as a person. You almost kind of just become like this person that just always wants to be absorbed by content, and just you start to just become part of the machine. I guess that's one way to put it. You're kind of like becoming part of the machine. That's a good way to put it there. But yeah, caught in our digital web, the smartphone effect. It's a true tragedy that we are forced into having to have a smartphone. Because if I had the choice, I would get rid of my smartphone. And I do have the choice, but I don't at the same time. I feel like you still need a smartphone to do a lot of different things that you can't really do on your computer. Though, I mean, it's debatable because you can log into a lot of things from just your computer and do it. But let's say you need to shoot out an email real quick. A dumb phone won't be able to do that. I mean, maybe there are some dumb phones that can send emails, but maybe you need to shoot an email and you're out on the road and you don't have your computer with you. I mean, you're that's one downside, or if you need to respond to an email and it's important. Sorry, the dogs are playing, so that's why they're making a lot of noise. But it's just one of those things where we become so accustomed to having our smartphone that in return, society has kind of made social norms attached to that whole mindset of, well, you have a smartphone, you shouldn't have any problems to do that. Well, yeah, but what if you don't have a smartphone? Then you will have problems. I mean, shit, you can't even apply to most jobs without a smartphone, unless I guess you could apply online. But a lot of apps, there's a lot of application apps where it requires you to have a phone. Um, but even then, if you don't have a smartphone in today's society, you're kind of restricting yourself because technology is moving so fast. So if you go back and something's changed, you might be lost in how to do something. Of course, and you just have to, in return, teach yourself. But if you wait too long, that's when you start to hit a wall, and then you realize, oh, maybe I don't remember how to do this, or maybe I don't know how to do this, because it's been so long, and then you kind of just become obsolete as a person. I've seen that all the time with old people. But if you keep learning and you keep teaching yourself stuff, that usually doesn't happen. But yeah, this episode is about to wrap up here. I kind of wanted to keep these episodes a little short. But final thoughts. Try to take time off your smartphone. As much as I want to fully rebel and just say, "Oh, reject the system. Don't use a smartphone." It's kind of unrealistic nowadays because you kind of do need a smartphone, or you don't necessarily need one. But if you get rid of the smartphone and you just go straight flip phone, you're at a straight disadvantage compared to everyone else. Everyone's gonna be on a fast run where you're gonna be kind of slow, struggling down the road of technology, and only sticking with a computer. I mean, you're just kind of just putting yourself at a disadvantage. So that's how I kind of view it. I hate my phone, though I know if I get rid of it, or I don't keep buying new ones as the years go on, then I'm just going to be kind of left behind, and then become like an obsolete human where I just don't know what the heck I'm doing in the current world. And I don't want to be that way. I want to keep learning and keep growing with technology. But it's just really unfortunate because you do lose kind of that human touch as you go on through technology. Like if you notice, people were a lot more human before the smartphone. A lot more human. Meaning like on flip phones, I feel like people spent a lot less time on their phones. So in return, people were a little bit more genuine. But on smartphones, they have this effect where they could definitely make you very vague, very bland, very not in the moment. It could change your personality, and it might not be intentional. It might just happen just because you're putting all your focus into what's going on in your phone. You're kind of like in your head almost as you just look down at the glowing screen. I've witnessed this with family. I witnessed this with not just family but friends as well, even myself. And it's very unfortunate that we're kind of losing that human touch that we all have as people. Just regular conversation. When I go in public, and I, sometimes I'm just nice and I wave, hey, I hope you have a good day, or something like that. And 9 times out of 10 nowadays, I usually get no response and I get weird looks because people don't really like. People aren't genuine like that anymore. People don't really like say hello in public. They're kind of like in their little bubble. And they don't want to engage. They're only engaging through who they want to engage with on their phone. And they kind of only let in people once they know them from their phone. It's a very strange world we're in. And I noticed it was a lot worse when I was in high school, because people were young and they're kind of born into it, I'd say. Not forced into it, but we were raised on smartphones, though I started with flip phones, but when I was a young teenager, I'd say middle-aged teenager, that's when I got a smartphone, and then things kind of took off from there. But I remember social media, it was big even before the smartphone, and that kind of led to everyone getting a smartphone. It was kind of like the beginning of it, but smartphone has definitely made it a lot worse. And our engagement, we don't engage in content as well as we used to. and that's because of really short content, seconds long. If it's not that constant, uh, that constant gratification, we're just gonna flick to the next reel and keep going until we find something that's funny or relatable. That's just kind of how it goes. But as a person and a creator myself, I understand you kind of have to grow with that. Though the loss of the almost imperfection of what social media used to be. I don't know if social media used to be imperfect, but maybe a little bit more imperfect because back in the day, going really far back, MySpace, you can make like a whole page where you could kind of personalize it and make it kind of a little bit more about who you are as a person in general, and you could change that profile to be more custom, and it feels a little bit more personalized and cool in that way. That's why I kind of liked MySpace in that sense, but of course it didn't last, and Facebook won over, and Instagram came. Then you had something like Snapchat, which is still very popular, but not as much. It was more popular when I was, growing up, like let's say 5 or 6 years ago. I feel like it kind of died off 6 years ago, but it might just be my age. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of interesting things that I'm witnessing, and especially with AI in the future. To sum this up, this is a piece of our history, guys, and what we're gonna witness is either gonna end up being something that's great, or it could be a dystopia, and it could end up being something that's terrible for mankind. I think there's gonna be a little bit of both. Just perceiving things that I've seen so far, I definitely could see it ending up not being good, but I try to be positive, and maybe these things will actually better humanity eventually. But humans are imperfect, and we're gonna end up making bad habits with the technologies that we build at first. So it's kind of hard to like break this down into one sum up. But what I could tell you is, don't use your phone too much. Take breaks from it. Try to do something fun that doesn't require the internet. Get outside, do some outside activities, plan some trips, go learn about different cultures. I just recently went to Puerto Rico with my wife and for a honeymoon, and it was the most amazing experience, guys. I love Puerto Rico. Great people, beautiful atmosphere. My only downside for the trip is the flight was it felt pretty long, but I feel like it was kind of rough going there. On the way back, the planes were a lot smoother. But our first plane we got was pretty rough. It might have just been bad weather, but I don't know. It just was not. It was not a smooth sailing flight. I could tell you that. But anyways, guys, that sums up this episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Reasons to Be Happy podcast. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in, of course. I'm the idea catcher himself, and if you want to subscribe to me, that would be great. I really appreciate you guys watching. If not, I understand, but maybe you'll come back and redecide later. But you guys have a good rest of your day, and as always, keep catching those ideas.